because they have the following, they can just funnel those people. And I went to Gigi's, she had like a live show with sex toys and
Hmm.
it was funny. Like, so they could even do that. They could even do live shows like whatever the Tres Amigas were doing. Just do that.
Yeah, they actually should do that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, I mean,
people,
listen, back in the day, like Shaw's is, I mean, Ladies of London, Rachel Zoe Project, but Shaw's is right up there with my favorite shows that are no longer on Bravo. I loved it.
me too. Me too. It's like Gallery Girls, New Year's NYC Prep, and Shaw's of Sunset. Like I love those three shows.
See, I couldn't get into Gallery Girls,
I love that. I don't know
which
why.
is shocking because I'm from New York. I was like the same demographic as them at that time. I never, New York City Prep was the best fucking thing ever.
It's the
Yes.
best show ever. And you know,
Hmm.
Gallery Girls, you know how it would be good if they reimagined it with Raquel from Roni? Raquel from Roni is a gallery owner. So if she came in with her group of girls and did like the other side of art, being POC in art, the whole lesbian thing, like I would watch that. So Gallery Girls reinvented with Raquel Chivermont or whatever her last name is would be amazing.
And I assume that, I mean, Roni will be back.
Yes.
And I
Brynn should be
assume
fired. I mean,
I really think Brynn will be fired. I do.
should be fired. When you double down and go to Rolling Stones and do an interview and defend your bad behavior, and then you have Aaron who's fact checking you. Aaron said, "You have not called me. You are not my friend. Like this is bullshit." And again, Uba's not my favorite, but what she
No.
did to her, like I unfollowed Brynn. So and I've been following her from day one. So, and I don't unfollow people lightly because I feel like that's extra. But I just feel like what she did was, and listen, housewives have done some really disgusting things, but what she did was, it was like despicable. I felt like I was watching like true crime.
Yeah,
It felt like,
Ubo has not been my favorite, but after this, and I watched her, and I'm like, okay, I feel for you, and I get it, and I'm seeing this all like it was all authentic. I don't. My only problem with Uba is when she goes from 0 to 100, like Dorinda, like when it's too much, and it's like you can get angry. You just have to work it out. You have to have a conversation. That's housewives. So you can't just scream. But if you really take all that away, most of that always was just directed towards Brynn. And it's like, okay, so maybe I've not given you enough credit. I agree. I mean, I think Brynn is definitely fired, to tell you the
I
truth.
think she should be fired because when you like do something like that, it's one thing, and to feel like sympathy and the way that Uba came and was kind of gutted and she was throwing up right away, having a physical reaction to trauma, and then Bryn waking up and saying, "What are we eating for breakfast?" and sitting with the producers, all fun with a gaggle of gay producers. That was very triggering for me. That's what pushed me over the edge, where she was joking and having, and maybe that's her coping mechanism. But watching it, it felt like you were watching a criminal who had just committed a crime. And I know I'm being a little dramatic, but that's what it felt like. Someone who had committed a crime and then was sitting with people and just laughing and joking. And I was like you just decimated this woman and then you sitting with the gays.
Yeah. And so to me, it's like, it's wrong on so many levels. It's like either A, you really don't even realize what you did, which is scary. You need real help. Or B, you actually know what you did and you think it's okay because you think everyone's in on it because you are now producing a reality show, which is what everyone criticized her the entire season for doing, of like Brynn is producing herself and the whole show. It's kind of like, do you think you just got Roni to like some high level? Now, granted, it was the first time I watched in like months, but the point is, like, I think she thinks that like she just made a great hour of TV and she's taking it's like, and I said this on some other show, I think I did. Whereas Uba has reminded me of Dorinda at times, Brynn, and not the same. Brynn just reminds me of Liam McSweeney.
Oh, Leah
I can't
McSweeney.
shake it.
I was gonna say Kelly Bensimon was Scary Island. That
Well, that
disassociation.
too. Yeah.
That's what, like, remember when she cried, 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 and then came and said, "Hi, Bethany."
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
I
Like, you
didn't see
just
that,
had
but
a
now I see
meltdown.
it.
Yeah, Leah McSweeney. It's Leah McSweeney. It's Leah McSweeney,
Kelly.
the way that she tries to be cool, right? Brynn is always trying to be cool, like even sitting with the gays. I don't know why. Her putting her foot, like she was so comfortable that she had her foot, she was sitting on her foot, like she was that comfortable. Had I done that to someone 9 hours earlier, I would have been like, Oh my God. Like, I just like if someone were, thought that someone had been assaulted and then they forgot and then like said that, like, do you realize what you did? Like,
I would just wake up and be like
or-
tiptoeing and being like, did I fucking lose my job? I really would be. I'd be like, I think I just fucking lost my job.
no, she didn't think that at all. She's like, should I stay longer? Should we go horseback riding? And like the producers were like, honey, that's a wrap. Like, we're done with the trip early. Everyone's leaving. Like, you're on a flight to JFK. Like, we're done. Like, and just
They
the lack
basically sent her home. Like they're like, she's no, I mean, now that you say it, I didn't think of it. Yeah, this is like Kelly Bensimon,
of scary.
who in today's day and age they might have sent her home. And I mean, we said at the time she wasn't well. This is kind of the same thing. We just didn't do anything about it at the time with Kelly. We're in different times now. Mind you, Kelly is also killing it in real estate. Like she's like a real deal.
She's amazing. Remember her like from running in traffic? She's come a long way.
She's come a long way. She's selling a lot more than the singer Stinger.
Oh, she is. What was she? She was on a real estate show too. Which one? Was it Selling the
I
City?
think was she was on Million Dollar Listing New York back in the day with Frederick.
I
No,
want to
Kelly has real listing. Was she on Selling New York? I have to
She
watch
was.
it.
I think she was. Like there was a $20 million listing. She just popped in. I remember she was wearing a white collared shirt and she looked really good and she looked rich. And I mean, good on her. Like fucking her. What was her husband's name? Jill Bensimon. Like he's probably like, wow,
Yeah.
she's doing better than him.
Listen, and I give her credit. She didn't want to get married. She's like, I have to protect my daughters. I'm not signing a prenup. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, maybe we justice for Kelly Bensimon. Justice for Kelly.
I would watch Kelly if she came back just to kind of shape up some of these girls on Roni.
Something is needed. So, I guess that's all I have to say as we wrap up. Please fix Roni, the powers that be. Please. Like, this isn't enough to now go forward. I mean, we're still going to be left with Jessel and I mean, we have to, they have to change this cat. I don't think getting rid of Brynn is enough. We're going to get rid of her and hire one person. That to me solves nothing. I would say, find real, how we don't have New Jersey, how we don't have Vanderpump Rules at the moment. Take a minute, figure it out. Like Atlanta, I mean, how long have we waited for season? Just take a beat with New York until you find actual interesting people.
Just take a beat. And I did the trailer for Atlanta drop, by the way. I didn't see it. I gotta see
Rumor is it's going to drop any second. That's the rumor.
it. Mhm.
It
Great.
could have dropped in the 3 days
Apparently
before.
it's good. I was talking to Drew Sidora. She said it's going to be really good. So that's from her mouth. So we'll
She,
see.
she said that on this podcast. She said, "Oh, it's going to be really good." Well, I hope that you and Drew Sidora are correct. Nothing else would make me happier. She said, "Oh, look, this one and Kenya was in and she was out, and then Phaedra comes in and look at all this." And I'm like, that doesn't really sell me, Drew. That sounds like a lot of chaos and disconjointed. But I agree. Drew says that this is it, best season she's ever had. So I hope,
Okay. We'll
I
see.
hope you and Drew are correct.
I hope so too. But nobody works harder at Bravo, I feel like, than Phaedra. She's on every show.
I
She's on
love
it.
Phaedra. Not everybody does, but I love
I
Phaedra.
like her too. I mean, listen, her making fun of the doctors on Married to Medicine and saying that she's in a different tax bracket, it was funny. It was good. I'm like, okay, girl. I mean, but they're all doctors. Like, are you making doctor money? Okay.
She has good one line. She just said recently, like someone asked her about working with Drew or something, and she's like, Drew's forgettable. Who? She's like, what? She's like, she's forgettable. I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh
So
God.
that's
No, she really said who. Like I remember I saw the interview, it was really funny. She said, Who are you talking about? And they're like, Drew Sidora. She's like,
yeah, don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know her.
Forgot
It's a
about
Mariah
her.
Carey moment.
Forgot about her. Well, listen, tell us where everyone could find you and listen to your podcast.
Yes, the Vault podcast page is our Instagram, and my personal Instagram's Amir Yas official. And yeah, we're on all platforms. And we just had Jackie Goldschneider, so it was a good conversation. We talked about Margaret. She was very, very forthcoming. I really liked her. I really,
I've had Jackie on this podcast. I personally love Jackie.
I like Jackie too.
I don't just say this. I really find Jackie totally just normal. I find her smart. I find her, she even like, do you see this clip going around with her and Teresa where she's like, I can't imagine the show without you. She's like, I mean, we could all imagine it without me. Like, I think and I also do think, like, look, she's no Lisa Rinna, but I really don't think Jackie's like the desperate housewife that's now going to talk about housewives for
No,
5 years. Like, she really
no.
is like, it was a great experience. Of course, I want to come back. She's moved on.
She's moved on. She said that. She's like, my kids don't want to be on it full time. And if I want to do this, I even called my parents when I got it and said, if I don't talk about the IRS stuff, I'm not doing the show. Like, she's very forthcoming. And I love what she said. She said, I'm cheap and I show up, I do the work, make me a friend of, put in some new girls, bring back Teresa, and like, I'm good to go. And I like the self awareness. Like, she's like, it's
Mhm.
fun for me to do it. And she said, at this point, I love working with Bravo. It's opened all the doors that I can open. I'm not going to get any more. I'm not going to sit here and talk about housewives like until I'm 50 years old. Like,
I agree. I see we like have the same reading on her, Jodie Sweetin. So far we can disagree, but I agree with you. I really like Jackie a lot.
me too. Me
So
too.
people need to listen to your podcast and that would be a good one. I'm gonna listen to that one myself. So
Thank you.
say hi to Monica for me.
I will.
And I